This is a clip from Battlestar Galactica, the 2000 version, with Eric James Olmos and Mary McDowell.
There's a reason why you separate military and the police. One fights the enemy of the state. The other serves and protects the people. When the military becomes both, then the enemies of the state tend to become the people.
Very prophetic words from Eric James Olmos, playing Commander Adama. It's unfortunate that this piece of science fiction is not relegated to just science fiction, because it's happening right now in reality in this country. And we're not just talking about what happened in Los Angeles, with Trump and PXF ordering the National Guard, bypassing the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, and sending active duty Marines to Los Angeles under the guise of stopping protests and helping ICE agents round up immigrants. But now, Donald Trump has taken it to the next level. He has called the Army National Guard into Washington, D.C. He's doing this under the guise of some prospective crime wave destroying the Washington, D.C., killing civilians and gangs roaming the streets. He's doing it because he believes he's protecting American citizens. He's doing it because he thinks that this will protect America. All of that is a lie. Donald Trump is deploying the military into the capital of the United States to continue his quest for authoritarian rule. He's doing this to put down any kind of opposition to him. He doesn't care about the safety of our citizens or our law enforcement, because that's another lie too. He's saying he's doing this to help police officers in Washington, D.C. We all know that that is a straight up lie. And the reason we know that is a lie, because of one date that Republicans and the MAGA don't want to talk about. They spent over 4 years trying to cover up, lie about, and say it wasn't a big deal. And that day is, of course, January 6, 2021. When Donald Trump incited a crowd, a mob, dare I say, a terrorist attack on the United States Capitol because he lost the 2020 election. Capitol police officers were beaten by Donald Trump supporters. One in particular was assaulted by a Donald Trump supporter with a flagpole with the American flag attached. In the aftermath, there were no apologies. There is barely any kind of justice. And when Trump became president again, he pardoned all, not some, not a few. He pardoned all of the people involved in January 6th. So Donald Trump does not give a damn about our law enforcement or the people. Because at that point, despite how many excuses I have heard from right-wing nutjobs about Nancy Pelosi having the authority to call the National Guard. She didn't. She didn't call the National Guard because she didn't have the authority to. Donald Trump did, and he did nothing. He let the attack go forward. He let police officers be beaten, almost murdered, one who committed suicide. He pardoned the people who assaulted those police officers, and now a lot of them are being recruited as ICE agents and members of the government. This move by Donald Trump and his administration to put military troops in our nation's capital is nothing more than another litmus test as to how far Donald Trump can go. How far he can push things towards his dream of an authoritarian state, answerable not to the Constitution, not to the rule of law, but one that answers only to him. There's a word for that. Fascism. Now, I can go on about him wanting to cover up the Jeffrey Epstein files and the fact that he's probably all in there. That's pretty obvious. That this may be a distraction, but it is a very deadly distraction. And it is a violation of the Constitution and the Posse Comitatus Acts. That military soldiers, regardless of where they are, what they serve, what branch, should never be involved in civilian law enforcement. This is going to backfire on Trump in the worst ways possible. I pray to God that he knows what he's doing. Because if a civilian is killed at the hands of a U.S. Army soldier, that blood is going to be on Donald Trump's hands. I promise that to my soul. Trump has gotten away with too much. He will not get away with this. And I'm sorry to say this, Trump. As much as you try, you're not going to get away from the fact that your name is in those files, no matter how many distractions you try. But the facts are these. In that clip I showed you, it gave you the right reasons why you never have the military involved in civilian law enforcement in your own country. As we've seen in plenty of examples throughout history, from Nazi Germany all the way to present-day Russia. The military is there to fight the enemies of the state. Law enforcement, civilian law enforcement, is there to serve and protect the people. If you give that power of civilian law enforcement and hand it over to the military, the people that are supposed to serve and protect often becomes the enemy. And we're not just talking about the murderers, the thugs, and everyone else Donald Trump wants to label. We're talking about the average citizen walking to his or her car on her way home to her family, and just because of some characteristic that Donald Trump has put in their heads, they are, in the minds of the soldiers that Donald Trump put on the streets, the enemy. Even if the enemy is their brother or sister. Don't let it happen. End this insanity now. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.